You know, it was a great test for such a young team just to see how they'd respond to adversity right out of the gate on top of all the other adversity that we had, and was thrilled with our resolve. You know, they got that second goal, and it kind of settled us somehow. You know, from my perspective on the bench, I liked our communication. I liked the confidence that our group had, just talking about, you know, just stay with the plan. Let's get in this. Let's go. The battle was there. So I was very happy with how we responded to earn that tie in a tough, you know, in a tough game on Wednesday, and then furthermore, loved how we played at Stevens Point on Friday. That's a building that, you know, quite frankly, we haven't had too many games in my tenure where I've looked at it and said, wow, that was a really good game that we played there. That's a tough place to play. And that was the first time I felt like we had a full 60 minutes of good blue gold hockey in that building. So I was really happy with how we played Friday. Once again, their goalie played amazing for them. Had some unbelievable saves to keep it close. But, you know, one of the great things was how we battled. We never gave up on the game plan, continued to work hard. And some of the adjustments we made after Wednesday's contest, we didn't like how we were playing on our faceoffs, for example. So we watched a little video before. And sure enough, one of our captains who's kind of struggled a little bit on the faceoffs on Wednesday, she's the one who actually got the tip on the goal that won that game on Friday. So we were really excited about that just because it supports what happens when you follow the game plan itself.
Is it a little bit weird?
One second.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I know you just mentioned face-offs, but anything else that you felt was super improved from Wednesday to Friday?
Yeah, just how calm we were. You know, when we started on Wednesday, I think that there's a lot of nerves and definitely some rust to shake off. And when you battle an opponent that just comes out swinging like they did, like I said, if you're not ready, they're gonna have some success against you. And so we're able to maintain, you know, that confidence and that calm, and you know, getting to our game plan and sticking with it a lot faster. You know, some of the short passes we were struggling making on Wednesday, on Friday were a non-issue. We were just crisp, very precise, and the group as a whole was so much more accurate with how they played on Friday's game. So it was a big moment for, I think, such a young team just to already show it's how bought in they are and their focus. It's very encouraging.
Is it weird to think you're already a fourth of the way through the regular season schedule?
It's sad to think about it like that. But you know, we've talked about this as a group too. We're in our own little bubble right now. It's more of a modified tournament, and it's a great way for us to build that confidence to take our next steps. We also have, you know, an unbelievable opportunity to win a WHKY regular season, even though it's condensed. But that's still a tremendous opportunity. And then on top of it, the playoffs. I mean, so you have the chance to still raise two banners next year. And what a better way for our seniors that won't be back for them to go out of their career. I mean, it would be unprecedented if we're able to find a way to play in championship games to be 4 years in a row in championships, whether, you know, regardless of what the outcome is. That's not easy to do in this conference. So there's still a lot that we're looking at that we're playing for. It's definitely every year with 28 games is a sprint. This is beyond that, right? Like this is like going to warp speed. So we're definitely aware of that, and are approaching this, not taking any of it for granted.
Speaking of banners, I saw your tweets earlier in the week about the 2021. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, you know, for our group, you know, those seniors, especially from last year, they haven't been very far from, you know, from mentally for me since this happened. And you know, we were just trying to figure out a way and find a way to honor them, not just in the immediate term but the long term. So the way that we did that is for our banner that's hanging for that WHKY regular season championship, it's got, for the 2020, instead of being all gold, it's gold and white, so that, you know, hopefully we're able to add more titles and more years to that. But whenever anybody walks in this building and they look at that, I mean, it already had the effect that I desired. The players right off the bat were like, Coach, the colors don't match. What's going on with that? Pat Newkirk, he got the banner. He's like, "Hey, coach, is something wrong with that? Like, the colors aren't matching." And I said, "Nope, it's designed perfectly." And the stories really resonated with people, and I just can't think of a better way to honor not just our team, but the 7 other teams that were still playing. That you just we'll never know how that would have gone. And we feel like we had a championship chance, just like every other team out there. So we might not like how we're all united, but we're all walking together in that sense of not being able to finish something that was at a very special time of the season. So that's the way that we decided to honor that group.
And I know you guys don't really want to talk about the NCAA tournament.
Froze there. I lost you at tournament, Jack. Oh, Jack, you're frozen.
But it sounds like when you talk about the mentality.
Jack, we can't hear you.
Jack, maybe if you want to disconnect and reconnect, and in the meantime, Sam, you can ask any other questions you have.
Sounds good. Any thoughts on Northland looking ahead to next week's 2 matchups?
Yeah, that's they're they're going to be playing this weekend. So Northland will be you look at what happened last weekend. Coach Jason is in his his first campaign as a head coach. So I know how much pride he has and how hard he's working, not only just with his group, but the recruiting that he has going. So they're going to be a hungry team. I don't think you look at River Falls and the success they had against Northland. It's River Falls is a scary team. They put 13 up on Northland. They could put 8, 9 up on us pretty easily too if we're not ready to go. So I don't look at that as a reflection on Northland as much as it's just a testament to what Coach Joe's built over there. So we've got a big week of prep coming up this week to try to get us as ready as possible as we can be to hopefully take more steps forward as a program the following week, and expect that Northland will be ready to go, and nothing would be greater for them than to pull an upset out and hand us our first loss. So we're fully aware of that, and believe me, we're not going to take them for granted, because that's usually how the mighty fall.
I think I'm unfrozen now.
Yes, you're good.
Okay. Oh, what I was saying was, I know you guys don't really want to talk about the NCAA tournament news too much, but can you talk a little bit about your mentality for the games that are going to be played here? It sounds like there's that focus on those championships you can still get.
100%. It's the main focus, I think, for every season is control what you can control, and that's one of those things that's out of our hands. What is in our control is prepping for Northland. How do we perform? How do we improve as a program? That's one of the things our players do an amazing job of. These Blue Golds they're tireless workers. They want to continue to advance our program forward. And so we've got, once again, an unprecedented opportunity to do that. I honestly believe that this year is going to set up the next 3 or 4 for us. And so it's not just these aren't just token games. They're for our seniors. There's 6 games if we continue to do the right things away from the rink, and the other teams do too, and we keep testing negative for COVID. There's 6 games ahead of us that are an experience that you just can't get. I talk with our alumni all the time, and they would give anything they could to come back for just a moment. And it's just, the reality, even myself, I look at it and it's kind of like, from a player's perspective, you're a tourist. I get the front row seat of watching and being part of this every day right now, but it's not the same experience as being a player, even though, being a part of it from the competitive side of it, it's just not the same. So, it's not taking for granted what we do have access to right now in the availability, and making sure we're ready to perform and compete every single day. And this group's doing an amazing job of buying into that. Might have frozen again, Jack.
I'm good on everything.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, here he comes.
My Wi-Fi in the office is not very good.
That's all right. I don't know if you cut. It's being recorded, so you'll be able to catch that later. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
I caught most of it anyways, I think.
Okay.
My Wi-Fi is down in my apartment, so I came to the office and I'm getting like one bar, it looks like. So
No worries.
I think that's all the questions that I had. I don't know.
Okay. I've got Sammy Scherling, number 5, with us, sophomore. So she's here to answer some questions for you guys if you have anything for her.
Sounds good. I know, Jill, did you mention there were questions you wanted to ask for the TV guys?
Oh, no, that's fine. I was more worried for Sam, but he's here, so we're good.
Okay. All right. Here's Sammy Scherling.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm sure it was exciting this week, finally being back on the ice.
Yes. You have no idea. Just
Good.
long time waiting. It was so exciting.
Yeah. and just it seemed like a pretty good, like Coach was saying, a pretty good first series. I guess from your perspective, what did you think of these first 2 games?
Both games were lots of fun. Both very high energy. The first game, like, I think you take for granted having like those exhibition games at the beginning of the season. Being able to get like your first game jitters out of the way. And I think we noticed that a little bit at the beginning of our first game. But once those were out, we came back in the third and even in overtime. And I think we all fought really hard and played really hard. And then we showed it in the second game that when we play our game that, like, I don't know, we can do good things and stuff. So. Mm-hmm.
I was talking to Coach kind of about how quick this is all kind of goes by and just how the season is. Is there, I don't know, a sense that maybe you kind of stop and kind of take it all in, enjoy, the little things maybe a little bit more than normal, just knowing how fast this is going to go?
Yeah, I think all of us just every day at practice, like, we're trying to embrace every little moment, like even just like bus rides and like I don't know, just being with the team. Every moment we get, we cherish. I mean, and I think for me especially, like, I took for granted having such a long season last year, like what I would do to like have morning practices and like to be able to play like as many months as we did. Like, I don't know, you just take for granted like the regular season when it's so short. But just to be playing it all is a blessing.
Would you say that you kind of agree with this? The focus on now is on the championships that you can get, a WHKY regular season, a WHKY tournament.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Coach. Like, no, this isn't just for fun. Like, even though we are just playing for conference, like that still means a lot to us. Playing your whole life, like training to go play college hockey, like you like are really grateful for anything you can get. And so I know that I'm still super excited and I'm going to try it the best I can. And I know everybody is, to at least get a conference championship this year.
What did you think was the biggest improvement from Wednesday's game to Friday's game?
Kind of like Coach said, I think our confidence, like we are a really young team. So kind of like I said, like not having an exhibition game to kind of feel out, like it's a totally different feel from high school to college. The level's way faster and a lot harder. So to kind of just jump right in can be a little scary right away. But once we calmed down and realized what we can do and we played our game, I think that was the biggest improvement. We just were more confident and played our game. So. Mm-hmm.
What did you guys all do during that day off in between to be prepared for the second matchup?
Kind of like Coach said, we went over some of the things we knew we could do better. We talked about it. We practiced it. We learned from it. And we all took that day like very seriously, even though we only had one day in between. We knew we needed to really dial in to get ready for the next game because it was such a short turnaround time. But usually we don't even get that practice in between games. So it was nice to be able to have that time to learn from the first game and take it into the second game. I think that really helped us.
I think that's all the questions that I had. I don't know.
I think I'm good as well.
Jill, do you have anything for TV guys?
Nope, that should be good. I think you covered everything. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.